I never thought that I could get so excited about camels. But this week I have gone down the rabbit's hole of everything camel and have become truly fascinated. Why camels? Well, camels are the stars of this week's Torah portion, Parshat Chayei Sarah. They are mentioned no less than 16 times. They really take the spotlight. In search for a wife for Isaac, Abraham's servant takes his herd of 10 camels to the water well, where Rivka enthusiastically greets him with pitchers of water, but more importantly, not just for him, but for all of his thirsty camels, which becomes the ultimate sign of chesed, or loving kindness, the trait which makes Rivka worthy to be Isaac's bride. There's much debate among scholars and archaeologists whether or not camels even existed during this historical time period, or if they are an anachronism of sorts. But either way, it seems that the camels of our story serve as a status symbol of Abraham's wealth, their purpose mostly to impress others. Initially, I assumed that I would not find much compelling or sophisticated camel artwork out there, since my main association with camels were as a cigarette logo or a cheesy souvenir. My assumption was also based on my greater familiarity with Western or European art, where logically representations of camels were indeed rare, well, because they didn't exist. Even in the early 20th century, with photography and travel, camels didn't seem to be a very popular subject, with the exception of these very fun abstract versions done by Picasso and Paul Klee. But in stark contrast, there was a lot of camel art in the ancient East. The most famous example may be this relief found in the very ancient ruins of Persepolis from the Persian Empire, or modern-day Iran. The importance of the camel in the Arabian Peninsula cannot be overstated. Because of their ability to carry huge loads, 500 pounds, and their capacity to survive in arid conditions, they can travel more than 100 miles of desert without water. Camels had inestimable value for transport and trade and battle. Given their importance in the lives of people in Arabia, it is not surprising that camels were celebrated in art and culture, like in this ancient rock art in the high region of Saudi Arabia. Just 2 years ago, archaeologists also found this crazy life-size 3D engraving of a camel, dated from approximately 2,000 years ago. It is truly mind-boggling. Oh my gosh. Today, camels are still celebrated for their beauty, grace, and speed, so that the camel itself has become the work of art. There are massive camel festivals and beauty pageants where thousands of camels are decorated and adorned. And in Pakistan, there is an amazing art form of hair shearing and design. Again, truly mind-blowing. Israelis have a complicated relationship with the camel. On the one hand, it is iconic and authentic, but it's also super kitschy and outdated. In general, Israelis hate the stereotype of Israel as a barren desert where people still ride on camels. So modern day Israelis have also widely rejected the camel image, but there have also been some attempts to reclaim or redefine the camel image by contemporary artists. In the city where I live, Beersheba, there's a local artist named Dorit Scherf, whose entire studio and gallery is made up of these huge paintings of camels, alongside the words of a Natan Alterman poem entitled L'Gamal, to the camel. The last two lines of the poem are Yafeh ata umeguchach ata, שנוצרת בצלם הברבור, כאדם שנוצר בצלם Elohim. You, camel, are beautiful and you are ridiculous. You were created in the image of the swan, as man was created in the image of God. On the one hand, camels are smelly, ugly, objects of ridicule, yet they are also beautiful and strong. Their grace and shape modeled after the swan. And of course, so is the human condition. With all our flaws and weaknesses and ugliness, we are nonetheless reflections of the divine. In the past, for this week's Parsha, I always do camel silhouette artwork with my students and my own children, and they always come out unique and different and beautiful. This year, because I learned about this hair design patterns in Pakistan, I think I'm going to try out this Zentangle camel doodle, which reminded me of that form of art. May we all be blessed with a week filled of radical acts of chesed. Shabbat Shalom.